Hello, folks, and welcome to the Friend or Foe series, Season 5. We are having our first game of the day, kicking us off, Team Beat Boop versus Team Washed. I am your friendly neighborhood Shotcaster Shargan, and I have joining me on the caster's desk today is a regular voice that you hear quite often, Rap Terror.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I think we're going to have some exciting games going on today. This is going to be a pretty good one. Just kind of like, let's hop right in here. Just looking at these bans. Already we see some Yordles taken out of the equation with the Veigar and Lulu. Getting rid of that Volibear Blitzcrank as well. Some really powerful staples. Feels like they're both showing each other a lot of respect with these bans.
Yeah, and Veigar is, I think he's actually in a really strong spot in the meta right now. I think banning that out was a pretty smart decision. The Hecarim ban also very good. He's probably one of the strongest junglers in the game at the moment. So that's always nice to see. Interested to see what their first pick is on the side of Beat Boop. Where there's a couple of champions we've seen that have become very much first picks immediately for this side. I want to see which one they're going with it. Wasn't expecting that one though. I thought that would come later in the draft. It's a Viego.
A Viego pickup. I do like this. It's a lot of damage early on. They already took away Dax's Hecarim, which was really smart on the side of Team Wash, as well as the Blitzcrank from Antunes. So seeing which champions we pull out on the side of support is going to be really interesting. Antunes is, we know, absolutely disgusting if he gets that Blitzcrank. It's terrible. His target selection is so good. And then we've got a response jungle pick with the Zac. Now, I like this choice because Zac is going to have a lot of sustain. He's going to have a really great clear. He's got a lot of really good CC to move his opponents around, allowing him to set up for his team. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how Team Wash decides to follow that up.
Yeah, and I think he handles Viego really well. For a tanky champion, Zac has a lot of dueling potential, especially in the 2v2. So I think that works really well. And he's also got much better gank potential than Viego does because of just how long range his E is. And combined with a Nami, if they get a good roam off, they could easily pick off one of the side lanes, depending on how mobile they are going. Like if they're going like something like a Nasus, it's gonna be really hard to get out of that. But I'm gonna have to wait and see where you get on the side of Beat Boop. Kai'Sa, that's a solid pick on the AD carry side. Or actually, I wonder if that's mid lane Kai'Sa.
It might be mid lane Kai'Sa. Now, it's interesting that we haven't seen an ADC pickup in the top 4 picks or a ban. So, like we've been seeing for most of this season, the Jinx or the Zeri pickup almost immediately. But with those mid-season patches or those mid-patch patches, which had some big effects on those champions, they haven't been chosen. We do see that Antunes is getting another one of his hook staples, the Thresh, a much more utility-based or not utility-based, sorry, a more versatile pick. It can do quite a bit more. It has great peel, great engage, great saving his teammates, great in actually pulling the teammates in closer to do some damage with that lantern. So I do expect that this is going to be a very difficult bot lane for Barbituate and Johnny Tsunami to deal with, especially choosing to go with a Vayne. If that's not a Vayne top, which I think would be a really bad choice in and of itself, it's going to be really, really tough in that bot lane.
Yeah, and I think it's a response to the Kai'Sa pick. I'm guessing Wash was kind of hoping that they'd see maybe a mid lane pickup here for Beat Boop in the first half, just because if that's Kai'Sa mid, you got to pick around that. And they don't. They're okay. So this draft is assuming that Kai'Sa is going bot lane. That's what the Vayne pick is for. But that's really dangerous because that Kai'Sa goes mid and they pick something like Caitlyn for the bottom lane. That could get really bad for Wash. Vayne has a lot of opponents in lane who can outrange her very significantly and just poke her out of lane. It's not often that we see Vayne, so maybe Liru isn't as familiar with that matchup, but it's definitely something that, Beat Boop playing really well with the flexibility of their draft.
They are playing really well with the flexibility of their draft. We haven't seen anything crazy come out, though, from P-Sweezy in terms of like a Kai'Sa mid lane, I don't think. So I think that Wash is on the right track in that sense, especially they think they're on that track with the Lissandra ban coming out. So that's very clearly, they're like, yeah, this is definitely a Kai'Sa bot lane. So let's make sure that we take away P-Sweezy's Lissandra so he doesn't have that engage, which would be really good because as we can see, the only real hard engage that Beat Boop has at the moment is that Thresh, and he's still got to hit that hook in order to be able to start that off. And so there's going to be looking for that angle. Washed responding with the Corki pickup does give them a lot of late game scaling on their comp. Like if Vayne and Corki are allowed to get to that 40-50 minute game, they will be basically unstoppable.
Yeah, and I think adding the Corki in kind of helps with their lack of solid backline. I like to think of Vayne as more of like a midline champion. Like she always is tumbling forward, and it has to remain relatively close to the front line to be able to really do a lot of damage. But with Corki here, there's a little bit of safety in case something goes wrong. If Vayne gets picked off, you still have a carry 8 that can kind of poke. The ult, just poke in general, can really set up the team well for some plays. The package is going to be great for cutting off like escape routes. And you are right, it is going to be the Kai'Sa and the AD carry. So this feels like a pretty standard, maybe not as much for this season, but in past seasons feels like a standard FOF comp.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen this comp before, where maybe it did have the Hecarim instead of the Viego, which would have made sense, which is why that ban came out in the first place. It does feel like something we've seen a lot of, and then we have the Tom Kench pickup for the responded top side. In terms of that matchup, I feel like PJ Salt has done a really good job of like hard engaging and fighting and doing his own lone wolf thing in the top lane when necessary. But Jaffe on a Camille is going to be really, really tough to deal with. So I expect us to actually see not so much a pool noodle fight going on as somebody sticking it up against the water jet and actually like squirting someone in the face with that massive jet of water.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say Camille is one of like my favorite champions to watch Jaffe play. That and Jax, I think these are good. That's a really good pickup. I think that Kench is a good answer to it. If this gets really far into late game, if Camille isn't ahead, Tom Kench can be very brutal to deal with. Being a very frontline tank that can also deal a ridiculous amount of damage if given enough time, just attacking people and eating them. So it's on. I think the pressure's on Bboop to get the early lead, to get things kind of going in this matchup, to kind of find plays so they can get ahead of the scaling on Washed.
Absolutely. I feel like with Beat Boop, they're essentially on a timer where if Vayne is allowed to get to that late game, Corki allowed to get to that late game, the scaling is just going to be on the side of Wash, and it's going to be really tough for them. Antunes most likely, though, is going to be the key linchpin to this. We're going to be seeing a lot of crazy hooks coming out, is my expectation.
Yeah, I think it's going to be on him to kind of roam with Scad. I'm always bad at pronouncing his name. It's going to be on him to roam with him to kind of get the plays going. Antunes, he's been in this league for a long time. His Thresh is probably one of the best known champions of any player in the league. So, it's known he is going to be trying. He can hit some amazing hooks. So if he can get around, he can get to Jaffe up in the top lane and get those hooks onto Salt and just kind of lock him up. There's potential to get that snowball going.
No, and I think that's exactly it. We already like a really good call on Washed in order to avoid that invade. They knew that it was coming because if it had been a blitzcrank anyway, it would have happened on its own. Like that's just naturally what would have gone down. So backing off, making sure that they've got the wards placed in such a way. Zach choosing to start topside, which is smart because he knows that they're going to be starting there, but it is going to reveal his position with that ward down there.
Yeah, I kind of wish they'd backed in the bush instead, just kind of left Wash afraid of, okay, are they still there? Are they still at our buff? Can we take this safely? They did row up to the top side, but to take it anyways, just assuming it. But I think it would have been a little bit more clever to do that. But they're still, doing pretty standard. Zach going to start red, I think, definitely means he's looking to go bottom. He's looking to kind of jump on this Kai'Sa early on. She doesn't have a lot of escape potential, especially, pre-level 6. So it's because it could be a good option, get Vayne ahead, get her snowballing. She does need to have, if she gets a good lead, it can be pretty difficult for Baby to deal with. Vayne can win a 1v1 very easily in a lot of situations. So later on, when Anton starts roaming, Giant Tsunami tries to match, he could make Lure's life kind of a living hell. He can get a lead, but could also be loop back around to mid lane, get the Corki going too.
Yeah, no, I have a feeling that we're basically going to be seeing A lot of engagement on this bot lane. We've already got Viego down there. I like this. He decided instead of going straight for his blue buff, he went for this full clear bot side, waiting for that push up by the Vayne and the Nami, just trying to get in on that. And then we do see a little bit of a fight going on right here in the mid lane. Wednesday getting brought very, very low, but that pot's going to heal him right back up.
Yeah, taking a lot of damage. Galio has some really high bases. It's probably the best part. I think it's one of my favorite parts about him is he don't need much AP to really do a lot of damage, especially early on if you hit the Q, just all of it. It's hard to trade, and Corki's early game isn't the greatest thing in the world.
No, it's not. But once he hits level 6, starts getting those packages, that's when the damage is going to start coming out.
That is true. The package is why you pick him. You can pick him for the poke. I mean, the poke too, but the package, that's the chef's kiss on that champion. Just a nice, get into the dragon pit or baron pit. You just package and trap everyone in there, especially with a Galio and a Camille. Like, you can set up some very nice plays with the package. I think it's a very good combo.
Nice engage by Godex Anime going in. Level 4 Flash is going to come out. We got a nice pull in as well. The bubble's going to just miss, though, so Luru is going to be perfectly fine, taking the Lantern to escape, and that is going to be a couple of summoner spells burned. Both flashes for the bot side gone. And that could be really, really bad should this Zach choose to continue this engage.
Yeah, then like we said earlier, he's going back in.
Like I said, he's choosing to engage. Got the double smack up of the two champions right there. Another flash going to be coming out. That's going to be Lure taken down by the Silver Bolts. That's going to be first blood going over to Vayne. Antunes, however, did manage to pull someone under tower. We got Zach taking a lot of damage from those towers. Very well done on the side of Beat Boop, but that is going to be first blood going over to Barbiturate.
Yeah, Barbiturate, good picking up that play. Like we said earlier, Zach looking to get the Vayne ahead, giving the Vayne the first blood's a lot of gold to give her. She's already got her Berserker Greaves done. Always the first rush for Vayne because of her W passive. That's the key there. So, she's in a very threatening spot. It's good on Antunes to be able to capitalize, though, and get something at least out of it, picking off Barbiturate at the end there, but now that's two flashes down in the bot lane. That's heal down for the side of Baby. Like, this is gonna be a return gig. I expect Godex Anime to come back down very shortly for another one.
That would be the smart play, but unfortunately he's choosing to start off top side, probably looking to counter gank this Viego who's looking mid lane. Just gonna probably make themselves visible. Yeah, see, they're just gonna walk right in there and be like, hey, just so you know, I'm here. You better watch out.
Yeah, and also, it's like, I don't expect it to be like within the next minute or so. It's probably gonna be like 2 or 3 minutes till he comes back down. Still before the flash is back up before the Kaisa. I think he needs to get some farm. Don't want to fall behind the Viego in that category, and the wave's kind of not in a good position, or could easily get into that position anytime soon. But
I like this. Nami trying to get rid of that vision. Does drop a control ward right there. We do have Antunes stepping up.
Oh, here comes Viego.
Viego did show himself a little early, I think. So they did know he was there, so they're already backing off, and so he is able to get out.
Yeah, that hook, though. If Antunes hit that hook, I think they could have made that play, but just barely missing it there. Now, mid lane, Anime looking for something.
Yep. Anime looking for that engage. That's a great advantage of Zach, is the fact that he's able to hang so far back from the lane and just jump right on in. Allows him to do so much for his team.
Yeah, it's really nice, and if there's a point where like, I can't really make this gank, you're not fully committed to it, you have the ability to kind of just leave and not lose anything for your trouble, maybe just a little bit of a cooldown. But Zach's cooldowns aren't the longest thing in the world, so no big deal really. But let's talk about this top lane. So we talked about this could be a point of like big contention in this matchup, but it's been pretty tame so far. They're both farming well. Anime actually back in the bot lane.
There he goes, jumping right in. We got a nice play as he tries to go over Antunes, gets pulled back into the wall. Antunes getting condemned into it as well. He's going to get taken out by the Silver Bolts. The Monster Hunter getting herself another kill. Barbiturate picking up more gold. Now has a bounty of 150 on their head, and they are slowly starting to pull ahead, in a sense, but they're only keeping even if you start factoring in that CS lead.
Yeah, the CS is keeping Luru in it, but like we said earlier, this is, you getting the Vayne ahead is something that Wash really needs to do. They need to be able to get the Vayne's snowballing, get her to her breakpoint items, get her just becoming that absolute monster that a Vayne could become, and being able to win this V1 once Antune starts roaming. And he's gotten to that point. You know, they've gotten to the point already where once Vayne backs gets her items, Liru will not be able to take it 1v1. That might actually keep Antunes locked into the lane, prevent him from being able to roam around, help Jaffe on the top side, help Sweezy in the mid, help with any ganks going on. So it's really smart of Anime. Yeah, he's losing a bit of farm. He lost his Raptors, but in the grand scheme of things, like, you get so much pressure on the map just from that, and Salt's now looking for something new.
He's looking for this Viego. They did discover that he was probably in this jungle because of the fact that the Raptors were down to 1. And they do probably realize he's over at Krugs at this point in time.
Spot him.
Oh, they did finally spot him, but unfortunately they were already starting to disengage. And so that means that we've got Dax able to just slip away. Lots of that camp stolen. He's got the red buff. He got most of the Krugs, most of the Raptors. That's going to put poor Godex Anime behind in terms of CS, and that is going to just start getting really, really problematic as these fights progress.
Yeah, you know, he's trying to make up for it. Viego getting what he can, making up for the plays in the bottom lane. That whole topside jungle, that's I think worth in farm. You can see it. They do have a lead on Baby and Gold, despite losing first blood, despite being down a kill. So it is still going in their favor in a way. And, you know, in that situation, I think Salt, if they didn't know Sweezy if Sweezy wasn't coming up, it might have been worth taking the fight. You know, Anime could have gone in really quick. Wednesday could have been there really fast as well. Not as fast, but could still get there. But, you know, dueling a Viego and a Camille and a Galio can get there much faster than the other two. It's, you know, smart for him to back off. It's good that they got the vision on him and forced him back to his own side. You know, wasn't looking for a gank. Which could be really disastrous if Jaffe gets ganked and gets an actual kill on that.
Right.
Pretty painful. But I still expect, you know, the flashes are back up for bot lane, but just how we've seen it so far, you can already see Godex Anime's on the bottom side kind of farming. I think he's looking for another one. I want to give credit to Antunes in these ganks. These ganks could have been so much worse if it weren't for him. Like that last one, he flayed Zach out of the jump. And if he hadn't, like, that was going to land right in between. That was going to be a dead Kaisa as well. So Absolutely. Good on him. Yeah, you know, minimizing damage for his team in this bottom lane, trying to prevent it from becoming too big a wound down here.
No, and I do like the scouting W coming out from Kaisa. She shoots those void missiles up towards that blue buff, just trying to see if Zach has decided to hide out in that wing anyway. And then Jaffe having really good control of this top lane. Both sides are relatively even. We've got the return gank of Zach coming once again to this bot side, but at the same time, Dax is already here in the top lane. Hextech Ultimatum is going to come out, and that's going to mean that we got poor Tom Kench getting turned into frog soup. He does manage to take down Jaffe at the last second, but Viego is going to be dealing just enough damage to pick up that kill. We did have Galio coming up to join as well, should it be necessary, but we did not need the Demacian Colossus right there, but that is going to be Rift Herald pickup, which will be really nice for Baby to kind of crack this game open.
Yeah, it'll be really good to have. Still unfortunate for Jaffe. You know, the downside of ganking a Tom Kench is someone has to start the gank. Usually really squishy at this point in the game. So sweet, easy meal, good pickup for him, making the most out of a bad situation. Oh, Anime and Wednesday are here.
Ooh, they are here, but that smite's going to come down, so that does mean that they managed to pick up the Rift Herald kill. However, the Rift Herald is just going to be hanging out there. We got Dax getting forced off. Jaffe going to be hopping over this wall, perhaps. Galio trying to keep his jungler alive, isn't quite able to do it, but that is going to be these top lane, the rest of Team Washed, making sure there is nothing that they can do in order to pick up that Rift Herald. So unfortunately, just the gold.
That was really bad for Baby. That's... losing the Herald, not getting to pick. I mean, getting it was nice. You couldn't pick it up, and then you lose your Viego on top of it. Little unfortunate. Good on Wash for being able to roam up and realize what was going to happen after that gank topside, not being afraid to challenge this Galio, be able to challenge this Viego. They know they can take it right now. And
I like Jaffe just walking up right past Tom Kench, being like, yeah, I know you're here, but I want the plate, so I'm going to just take it. And then just getting out.
Yeah, Camille, I mean, she's really safe, really easy to take it, though. She does need that plate. She really needs to kind of bring herself back into this. She is down a kill. She's actually down about 14 CS as well, so she's a bit behind. She needs all the gold she can get to kind of keep up with the Kench, especially now not getting... I mean, you got the one gank, but for the most part, not a lot of pressure this game. We're only 13 minutes in. There's only been one gank on the top side from Viego. So
yeah, that's something that I didn't have a chance to actually like point out just yet, but they have unbenched the Kench for you, Rap Kench.
Good old top lane Kench. You know what's really funny? I'm actually a support main by play. Like for the last 10 years of main support, and I actually don't play much top Kench, except unless I'm top lane. It's the only place I ever play him. I thought it was really funny. This was just as a thought. Like I don't even play him that much in support. More of a Senna player or a Vi player, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, nice flash coming out from Antunes. The wall is going to come up. Cage is going to go wide, as is the hook. And that is going to be Johnny Tsunami, though, brought in really low. This is going to be the first reset that we see coming out from Diego. Dax does manage to get up, but the Nami bubble is going to miss the Godex enemy, so that means that he's going to get brought down as well. Antunes getting brought exceptionally low. Tower shot on Dax means that he's going to get taken out by Godex enemy. He does not have that power on his side. Antunes getting pulled back. He goes golden, though, to avoid the damage. Very well done. Taunt coming out from Galio means that he's going to try and pull some of the aggression towards him. It's not enough as Wednesday picks off the kill. This is Team Washed cleaning the clock of Team Baby.
Oh, so unfortunate for Baby. They tried so hard. They almost got Barbiturate there in the middle of that fight, but he manages to just slink away, and they come away with one, but what did it cost? Jerrigan, what did it cost?
It cost them so much, and I don't know what exactly is going on right now. We are not seeing Baby performing at the level they usually are. I don't know if maybe somebody Venmo'd them some extra, like, you know, on the back end, or maybe we've got some game fixing going on.
Nah, everyone has a bad day, you know. Even Faker has a bad day.
This is true. Jaffe just avoiding that abyssal voyage. Very well done.
Yeah. Salt's, you know, he's getting not further ahead, but he's becoming, I think, a problem. I don't think Jaffe's going to be able to duel him much longer. Once that, I'm not sure if he's going to run Frostfire or he's going to run, or Iceborne or he's going to run Sunfire. But I mean, either way, like it's going to be. If I think he should run Iceborne, I think it is much better for dueling Jaffe, especially if you just want to keep him in that side lane, prevent him from joining up with his team. Yeah, it is the Frostfire.
Yeah, I think Frostfire Gauntlet was going to be the way to go, personally. Got that extra damage, a little bit more of the punching going on rather than worrying too much about the sustain. And then, once again, in this bot lane, we do... as we look at these scoreboards, we can see that Vayne has gotten pretty far ahead. So what Baby really needs to do right now is make sure that they get that shutdown gold onto the people that are necessary. And honestly, Team Wash needs to be very careful about giving up that shutdown gold because it can be really bad to allow Baby back into this game.
Yeah, they have to play very cautiously, especially Vayne. Again, short range. She does have a lot of mobility with her Q, but she gets like locked up. It's basically over. I know that Barbiturate is down like 20 CS, but I actually don't think that's as bad as it would seem. And Vayne has a really hard time farming, if it, so to speak, clear. She has a hard time clearing waves, and Kaisa can just walk up Q, waves gone.
Yep.
Vayne has to actually spend the time hitting each minion individually. She can't build a hurricane because, you know, that breaks the Vayne passive.
Right, but with those 3 kills means that they're already in a very good position, and this is the Kraken Slayer Vayne, so that means that that's going to be a lot of damage coming out very quickly, especially once they get that 3rd auto attack off, means that the Silver Bolt passive is just going to shred any form of health bar that is on the side of Team Beat Boop. So that's part of the advantage that they've got, is the fact that they're not super high health champions, so the amount taken won't be as big. But still, it's gonna be a nice chunk every single time they get hit.
Yeah, good chunk of health. And I was gonna say is being down that much CS isn't that big of a problem, especially with the number of kills and assists that the Vayne has. They're clearly in a good advantageous point. The farm is helping, you know, keep Kaisa in it, but It's let's see the gold difference. So it's about a 800 gold difference right now, almost 900. That's basic. So it's basically 3 kills worth of gold or so is the difference. So well, look at that. Those 3 kills are the whole factor there. But yeah, it's a good position for them to be in. Washington in general, they're up there. You know, they're up about a little less than 2K, only 1,500 gold, but they're about to get their 3rd Dragon on a soul point on an Ocean Soul. If they get Ocean Soul, I don't actually think Baby can beat them. I think that the healing factor from Ocean, plus how much team fighting potential this team has, it'll just be too much for Baby. I don't think they'll be able to finish this. They've got to stop.
I like dragons. Baby splitting the combination of people right here. We got Godex Anime diving into that backline. Antunes Hook going wide. The Lantern now is unfortunately not in a good spot. Great package in order to try and cut off the escape. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too far behind, and that means Corky's going to get taken out. We got a nice knockup coming out from the tidal wave, but the shutdown is going to go right onto Viego. Viego's chasing them down. Kaiza is now going after Johnny Tsunami. Godex Anime trying to get away. Doesn't manage to do it. He gets flayed and pulled in. That would have been the stun coming out from Jaffe had that missed anyway. This is going very, very well for Team Baby. Hextech Ultimatum means that Zach is going to get caught inside of this fight. The fight's going to be forced to continue as the rest of Baby returns to take him out. The passive is getting burned away. He's trying to pull himself back together, but he's not going to be able to get himself back in time, and that means that the Kench is going to get taken out. So is Zach. That is a huge amount of shutdowns. The only one left on the side of Team Washed is Nami, and that is not going to be able to stop this take on this mid lane tower. We do have a TP coming in, although I'm not sure if Corky wants to be doing that.
Not after using that package. I don't think he wants to. Oh,
he doesn't want to fight it, but it's good. He's going to stop the push. But this is going to be the Ocean Drake going over to Beat Boop.
Well, I did say they had to stop Dragon. That's one way to do it. Winning that fight. Good from Baby in that fight. You know, playing around, getting hit by that Corky package. Like that Corky package was very good, cutting them off in the fight. But it was the engage at the beginning of it all. I think it was too excited. I don't think that the rest of the team was going to be able to catch up to Anime at all, even if he was able to lock down somebody. They were so far away, and so by the time they get even nearby, you know, it forces the package out of Corky, forces them to that deep line, and you know, that's just perfectly easy. Caught in the middle of everyone. Zaxar used his E. He can't get back there. They've already locked him down. Even when he's ulting, pick him off and then just turn around, use his lead to take out the Vayne. It was really good of Baby, and it was just a good idea from Watch, just poor execution on it. They clean it up. I still think they have this game, but you know, giving 2 kills to Viego, a lot of shutdown gold especially, is not a good position to be in. And now it looks like they're looking for another.
They are looking for another engage. The bot lane turret is going to fall. That is going to be, it happens. I mean, you're just expecting it. Invisible Boy is going to come out. PJ Salt does manage to get a nice knockup onto Jaffe. Jaffe getting caught out very, very hard. He's going to get eaten alive and then spat back out into the Death Realm. He is going to drop the Hextech Ultimatum to force Zach away, and then he's going to be able to use the hookshot to escape. Very well played by Jaffe right there.
So much burned from the side of Wash. They're trying to get that play going. I think they need to layer their CC a little bit better, but bottom lane looks like it's about to be a fight.
Antunes getting a little over spicy, going in hard, but unfortunately for Team Wash, it's not going to matter. P-Sweezy's dash is going to come in a little bit early. We got PJ Salt coming in trying to help out. The TP is here, but it's not going to matter as all the members of Baby are able to escape and slip out of there.
Honestly, great macro from the side of Baby. You know, they see what's going on the top side. They see that the Tom Kench up, they see Zach up there. They've already got their members in this area. They're like, hey, you know what? Let's just go for a dive on this turret. This is an easy pick. There's nothing they can do to stop us. It's just a Vayne and a Nami. And there was a chance that Barbiturate and Johnny Tsunami could get out of there, but they needed the Tsunami, honestly, from Nami to keep that, to be able to do that. And she used it early, trying to catch out Antunes and lure.
Jaffe really wants this tower, and Godex Anime is like, no, you don't. It's mine. Go away.
Now, Washed is their tempo.
Ooh, we got the multi-man death ball. Zach, you fool! They used your own trick against you, and that is going to be a kill as poor old Viego does manage to pick that up, and poor old Godex Anime does not have the power on his side right there. Zach has got his passive up. Viego's got Zach's passive up, which I didn't realize he could do, personally.
I didn't know he could do that either.
Well, that's kind of interesting. I'm curious as how that would play out should it actually be activated in a fight. Maybe we'll get to see.
Yeah, that would be curious to see how that goes in a fight. It's kind of one of those things that's like really hard to pull off, but Washed, their lead is just slowly slipping away from them right here. They've just constantly checking bushes and just unfortunate plays, unable to really get anything going in this mid game. It's unfortunate. It's good for Baby, but unfortunate that Wash hasn't been able to kind of keep their pace going. But again, good for Baby. They're taking advantage of the weakness that they're seeing, and they're right back into this game. The kills are going where they want them to. They've got them on the Viego. They've got them on the Kaisa. Got a couple and a couple. They've got one and a couple assists on the Camille. So they are spreading it around properly too.
They are, and actually, let's point out these bounties really quickly, because if you look at it, it looks like they have swapped sides almost entirely. With Vane's 300 bounty now shifted over to Kaisa at 400, and then you got Viego with the 150. The only one who doesn't have one is Galio, but you know what? Galio's fine with that. He's all about that utility. His CS has been absolutely phenomenal. He's been doing a really good job maintaining that. Some really decent engages on these side lanes. Have been a little bit late, but we know that he's there, so I expect once these fights start becoming 5v5s, it'll be that much more impactful.
Absolutely. I thought he was going to go in for a moment. Saw where he was going.
PJ Salt knows better.
I think he could actually take the Camille right now.
He could take the fight. He just doesn't have vision of the other side, so he has no idea who's waiting for him.
That's true. I actually think at this point, he might actually be able to take the 2v1. He does have Thornmail and Steel Plates, so not a lot of damage that can really go at him from Viego or Camille. So he might be able to. He might take that 2v1 if he gets a chance. Plus the healing reduction, that's a really big problem for those two.
I love the fact that they're not clearing some of these wards right here. Antunes and P-Sweezy just sitting on that control ward blocked Farsight ward means that they don't reveal their position, trying to hope for an engage. This is going to be the vision cleared out here, and unfortunately Wash now has to come and contest the Ocean's Drake, which would put them on Soul Point, which is exactly what Baby knows that they want. So they're just waiting for this engage. We've got the nice look at this. We got a huge Galio. It's going to knock up more members of Team Wash. So that's going to be a huge amount of damage as the rest of the team members of Baby try to engage on it. Unfortunately for them, you've got Corki on the back line just peppering them with these bullets that are just doing absolute massive chunks. And that is going to be huge as they completely wash out the rest of Baby. Not quite. Doesn't manage to jump in time, and Dax is going to give up his life trying to steal that Drake. Doesn't get over the wall in time, and that is going to be a huge shutdown going over to the side of Wash. That is going to put their back ahead 2,000 gold. Easy Baron pickup.
Oh, that was a good attempt from the steal from Viego, but the failed flash afterwards. So unfortunate. And that fight looked really good at the onset from Baby. They had caught out Zach, but they fought in the worst possible position, I'd say. If we end up seeing a replay, you'll be able to see Corki gets this beautiful package right through that entire channel, and everyone on Baby is basically stuck on it. They're just taking massive damage from the burn. There's nothing they can do. It just collapsed. They just got roasted to a nice crisp, and good Wash. Excellent use of that. And also at the beginning, I don't know if you saw it, Kaisa ulted to get to the back line and then got hit. Oh, it landed on the blast gun and got knocked away. So she was completely out of that fight. Yeah, that was
very well done on the side of Washed.
Yeah, that was perfect positioning for that fight.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like a lot of these fights are, if you're going to be taking Wash in a corridor, you need to make sure that they don't have that package on that Corki. So with the Baron pickup now, this is going to be a nice push for them. They should be able to get 2 towers out of it at least. The rest of Baby is up right now, so they should be looking to converge on this mid lane. They don't have the split push power necessary to really kind of force them away from this. And unfortunately, with Zach jumping over the wall like this, managed to get the shutdown on Kaisa. That's going to be 500 gold. Going over to the Zach, that means that the rest of Baby is now able to jump on this, but with the tower down, they've got no safety. That is going to be really, really bad as Wash continues to pull ahead in this game. They have now increased their 2K gold lead to almost 5. It's just, they're slowly losing their grip. Baby is just, it's not doing very well. I was about to make an analogy that I can't make on Twitch.
Well, Wash, they finally figured out, hey, maybe we should just group for these fights. We do have a strong team fight, and they've also, they've hit their item power spike. Corki got his Manamune up, or Murmana, and Bane, she's got the Rage Blade now. She's almost done her third item.
Reminder, yeah.
Yeah, the Mortimer reminder. They're in a very good spot. They hit a really good power spike, and they're taking really good advantage of it. It looks like they're trying for another maybe if they can get these minions in, but I wouldn't risk it. And again, Jaffe can't join these fights. He's stuck dealing with this Kench on the top side. The Kench doesn't even have that amazing of a split push, but he doesn't need it. He just needs to keep people there. And
yeah.
Ooh, look, that's actually a big heal from Jaffe, though.
As long as he's able to just keep at least one person there on the bot lane, in the top lane, means that he's gonna be able to just kind of dissuade the whole fight. A nice bit of damage coming out from PJ Salt as he goes in on Jaffe. Jaffe trying to Hextech ultimatum him under the tower, doesn't quite make it. Means he's gonna have to use the hook shot to get away. Meantime, you've got the rest of both teams in this bot lane just sieging down this bot lane turret. There's nothing that Washed is able to do whatever they want on this map. It's kind of their game to lose at this point, I feel like. They've got really good wave position. Mid lane is pushing up against them, but that's going to be some free farm for Corki as the rest of Team Baby is unable to respond.
Yeah, and bounties up yet? Oh, bounties are up. Okay, so the bounties are up for Baby. That's at least one thing they've got going for them. If they can get some kills and get around there, that top lane turret and bottom lane turret, they're pretty low. Maybe they can get some gold there, but I agree. This map is completely washed right now. Good use of that Zac there. I don't know if you saw it when they were pushing on that bottom turret. He just immediately goes into his E to just threaten that, hey, if you walk forward anywhere near these, we will dive you with this turret almost gone, just to give them the space to take it and just kind of get out safely. Not worry about like any random engaged coming in. So the game, I think, will be maybe not decided, because if Baby gets it, it won't be. But this next dragon coming up in 40 seconds, that's going to be the big point here. If Wash gets it, this game, I think it'll be over within the next 3 minutes or so. I'll put a timer about 3 minutes.
You want to put a timer on it for 3 minutes?
I'll put a timer if at least two of them live on the side of Baby, maybe 3 minutes. If they all die, I think that actually could be game right there.
Mm-hmm. I think you're very, very close to right on that. This is a very, very important Drake, and Baby knows it. They know they can't just give it up. It is the first objective that they've got to make sure that they pressure this. There looks like a couple of members of them are on this mid lane trying to push this mid wave turret up, because the bot side is crashing against them. And with just the inhibitor turret left, and not even, and that's going to be really bad for them. We got Zac jumping in onto the back lane. He manages to connect to Antunes first, looking for that secondary target. Doesn't actually manage to choose it. Corki using his package a little bit early means that he's basically just going to force them off, but that is not available now for this fight, now that the Drake is getting started.
Yeah, and that's a whole ult out of the Zac, but I think it's Baby. They're just going to walk away.
Baby is just giving this up. They don't want to fight this despite all the resources that were already spent. I guess because of the fact that Godex, Anime, and PJ Salt are just so tanky, they don't feel like they can take the fight. So now they're just trying to force these waves out, get them to push back against Wash's base, try and pick up these objectives, and hopefully find a way out. Dax, sitting in that bush while he's under a sweeper, knows that he's visible, does manage to get away thanks to Antunes, but that was a little bit sus right there. I think you may be looking at the shop.
You want to know something, Sherigan? I just realized that's Dax. I didn't realize that was his name spelled backwards.
Yes, Dax is SCAD if you spell it backwards, which is kind of interesting. He wants us to call him Dax. So look at this nice engage coming out from the side of Team Watch. Huge tidal wave. Jaffe is going to get taken down. Unfortunately, Vayne managed to pick him up from the side. Those 3-hit autos coming out from Vayne, absolutely devastating. Nice tidal wave to kick it all off, as well as that was just a huge amount of CC. The turret's going to go down, so that's going to be the inhibitor falling here in just a moment. PJ Salt doing a fantastic job, just zoning it all off. They have unbenched the Kench, and they are basically just pressuring this base. There is very little that Team Baby is actually able to do against this team comp, and they are basically feeling what happens if you let a Corki and a Vayne just get as far ahead into this game as they want.
I would just like to point out we're only like a minute and a half from that dragon take. So the 3-minute timer is still possible if they get the kills here.
Still possible, especially the fact that Godex Anime is going to jump in on this. He's going to hit the Q onto P-Sweezy, manage to catch him. He's going to try and find another target. Does manage to actually grab Antunes, so P-Sweezy is going to get brought very, very low. So the third auto from Barbiturates does manage to find him. He gets ripped to shred by the Silver Bolts. Nowhere for him to go. Jaffe can't find an angle on this either, as he is now pressured off by 3 members of Team Washed, with Barbiturate hanging off to the side. Dax is coming in as well. The rest of the members of Baby are trying to have to recall to get into this fight. Unfortunately for Jaffe and Dax, they are being forced out of their own base. It is not a safe haven. Hextech Ultimatum from Jaffe is going to be used onto Vayne, but it's not going to matter as there's just too much damage, too much attack speed coming out from Barbiturate, and that is going to be absolutely huge. This is probably the final push, and that is going to be game taken by Washed. Look at this. We got Jaffe. He's trying to find that hook. Does manage to catch PJ Salt. There's going to be a lot of pressure coming out from Team Wash to this very last couple of seconds. Luru doing what he can, trying to get the Kai'Sa to pop off. Unfortunately, they are not able to. Antunes hanging out in the base, getting absolutely devastated by these Silver Bolts. Doesn't get taken down, though, and that is going to be the Nexus falling, and Team Wash clean up. Baby.
So just a little over 3 minutes from the time of that Ocean Drake, but Washed with a little bit of stumble in the mid lane right there, had a very commanding lead for the rest of this game. That stumble in the middle, they gave a little false hope for Baby, but they had control of the map all, like, from start to mid to after mid to finish.
And I want to say that Baby is washed up, but that was a game that went in the exact opposite direction of how I expected it to go. I did expect Baby to be able to kind of get their game online, but they just let Washed scale into that late game. They let them get the objectives they needed to. They did not respect the damage out of the Vayne and the Corki. And all I can say is, tomorrow's Wednesday, my dudes.
It is, Washed. They're living up to them. They washed Baby away from this match. So good for them, a good start to the day, good way to end the week on a strong win. And Baby, they're still a strong team. They'll bounce back from this. It just want an off day for them, I think.
It was a little bit of an off day, but with that, we'll be right back, folks. Don't go away. We're taking a quick break, and we'll be right back with with the winners.
Hello, folks. Chris Edgeworth here with tonight's first interview, and I am joined by Barbituate. Did I say it? Barbituate?
Yeah, you got it. You
There
nailed
we
it.
go. Okay. So, welcome. Congratulations to you and to Team Washed on that big win. Let's start right at the top with prepping for this game and what the draft that came out of it up against Team Baby, which is tied up there at the top of the standings. You put yourself with this win within striking distance of both them and UB. Give me your thoughts on prepping for a game like this against a top-tier opponent, and what are your thoughts on the draft that you folks ended up with and what you're up against?
Yeah, so our first game versus Baby was probably the worst game we played in our entire lives. We didn't really have an understanding of how the league worked super well, so I went Karthus, and I think our goal was to just not do anything for half an hour. It's become very apparent Baby likes doing stuff super quick with that, Dax on Volibear, stuff like that. So we know that he's a really big carry. I think he's probably the best jungler in the league with leaves. So just get rid of that. Hecarim, and then Antunes on not Volibear. Blitzcrank's just obnoxious. So when that's gone, I think Thresh is a bad champion. So we got what we wanted off that. Don't know why they banned Malphite or Mundo, to be honest. I know we picked Mundo, but it's not really great into Camille or anything. We felt pretty confident with the draft, but we were really surprised that Kai'Sa went 80. Aside from that, it was pretty what expected from what we thought they'd pick.
Yeah, I feel like I was watching it. I can't remember if it was an LPL or LCK matchup recently, and even the bot lane Kai'Sa, not even the new hotness with the mid lane Kai'Sa, was was building the AP. So yeah, it's curious for sure, and we'll talk about some of that build order stuff in a second. Pardon me. I do want to get your thoughts on sort of how the game went overall, the ebb and the flow of it. It looked like you folks were on a commanding early lead. It looks like the items come online for some of these things. It's a natural bounce back that's going to happen for some of these teams as long as they're not super out of it. So they were making a good show of it, but then I would say that arguably you folks let them back into it, and then you're able to reel this back in. Talk to me a little bit, if you would, about sort of this mid game stumble, what your guys' comms were like, what you're talking about, and your thoughts overall on bringing this win back.
Yeah, we thought they had Herald. I'm pretty sure they had Herald for that mid one that we lost. Our Corki had package that was expiring, and we like to just kind of blow our summit, like everything we have, as soon as we can. So Zach was a little bit farther ahead than us, and unfortunately, we were on a ward. They saw us going in, so they backed up. Zach got blown, and then Camille got on the back line with Kai'Sa, and Corki got into the pop too. So, and I don't think our top laner was able to get there in time to fix that. It was just a very silly oopsies that led to a dragon loss on our end. Definitely a good fight out of them for that, but we really just misplayed it.
I do want to get your thoughts on the round robin coming up, as this is the start of our second round robin. But before, last possible question about this game and just general thoughts overall, maybe on this season's items. I noticed that I think this game is sponsored by Grievous Wounds. Grievous Wounds probably should have came in a little earlier for the other team if they wanted to shut you guys down. Not only is there a lot of inherent healing in the composition you folks put together, but you folks built a lot of healing based items, regenerative items. What are your thoughts overall on maybe a little bit of the strength of Grievous Wounds and the propensity of healing in the modern meta? What are your thoughts overall on the Season 12 meta of items? Because I felt like the healing reduction could have really helped them as they were starting to get that mid-game bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, for like supports, it's kind of almost expected for them to be the Chemtech Purifier, but like end all be all, but that doesn't work for everybody. I think, if they had picked Samira, I saw that Luru was playing a lot of Samira, and I think in that lane specifically, even though it feels awful, you need to build executioners pretty quick. The reason I think a lot of people just don't even build like Oblivion Orb, which is 800 gold, is it's just kind of an ego thing. I don't like building it. I think I can just do more damage than they can out heal, and I'm usually wrong. So I think people probably just need to adjust to the kind of hyper healing meta that we have with Sona, Soraka, stuff like that, and just take the 800 gold loss, get 10 AD, and cut some heal earlier. It falls off pretty significantly later when items come on really strongly. So the earlier you build it, the better kind of a lead you have.
For sure, yeah. My main thing, for my thoughts was, I felt like Jaffe You know, he was stuck in this matchup for a lot of the game against the TK, and I felt like with him playing up against the TK, I felt like that was the one champion where I was like this might be a good buy for him. But that's
Yeah.
besides the point. I think you know, Jaffe did his best to try and put up against the pressure, but eventually TK just does TK stuff. So especially when he's just
Yeah,
stacking armor.
top laners are a different breed of individuals. I don't really pay attention to what's going on to top unless teleport's open. That's kind of their own thing. They play a different video game than we do, for sure.
that nothing could be more true about modern League of Legends than that. So thank you so much for this interview, Barbituate. I want to congratulate you and Team Wash as a spicy win to open up our matches today, but also overall the second round robin. I think you guys threw down the gauntlet to a lot of people, showing that the second verse is yet to be written. It is not the same as the first, so congratulations. But before we step away, though, I do want to give you an opportunity here on the desk. Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to leave with us?
Yeah, I want to shout out our coach, Brian. He doesn't talk to us ever, and he doesn't tell us what to draft, but he's the homie, and he gives us the cool cat when we win. So shout out Brian. He's the reason we win. Without Brian, we kind of just go 0-8. We're like worse AWE without Brian.
Jeez. All right, man. Well, thank you so much again for this interview. Congratulations to Team Washed. It was a spicy game, folks, for game one. I think that there's a lot of sad channel points out there, so I look forward to seeing if you folks can try and gamble it back on the other 3 games we have coming up next. But we are going to take a short break before we come back with the second game of the day. So get your channel points ready. We'll be back soon.
Bet on RLS.
Yeah, that went out.
Remember, I used to be that kid that every day would get rejected. Y'all got my story, the glory was painted on a song. I'm mortified but feel immortal. This pen to this paper always open up different portals. It's I and me, it's me and I'm by myself. I'm down the ride, I'm taking on the tide. Size of tsunamis touching the sky. I got a quick scan. It's time to move, leaving everything else behind. I got something to prove. I'm just riding away, no, I ain't running away. I got memories set, oh, I'm just finding my place where I belong to. Feeling glory in my soul. Hey, I'm riding away, I'm finding my place. Yeah, I gotta escape, yeah, that's what I gotta do. See you on the other side, see you on the other side, see you on the other side. We all know.
Constantly changing, always rearranging, always rearranging, always rearranging. That is constantly changing. Always rearranging. Always rearranging. Constantly changing, always rearranging, always rearranging, always rearranging. That is constantly changing, always rearranging, always rearranging, always rearranging.